Alright, so we are running in simulation, so I'm just gonna change a couple quick settings in the quick menu to better explain this. So when we first click our menu once, I'll come up to the quick menu and sensitivity. I like to keep between 7 and 12, and that varies day by day. Contrast is set at 20, and that's out of the factory, and we will leave that as is. Now, the key to vertical jigging the river is that you want to optimize the unit to only show what you need to show, and that by changing the upper range and the lower range, that'll tell the unit to only focus its transducer and sonar to that range. So anything above 10 feet to the surface is useless. We all know walleye are usually typically belly on bottom. So what we want to do, you want to put our lower range to whatever depth we are at. So right now, and the simulation is showing 60 feet, so I'll put it at 60 feet. So we see a hard bottom, and then we're going to focus on that, let's say 20 feet or whatever the case is in your depth. So I could change the upper range right now, and you'll see this as I kill the surface. It focuses on the bottom. Now there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that after. So next, we'll go to chart speed. For vertical jigging, you want your chart speed to be as fast as possible. I keep mine at 9. Sonar color is your preference. Now, believe it or not, let's go back to upper and lower range. Now, the reason why this needs to be, when you're vertical jigging and you're the operator controlling the trolling motor, you'll be jigging pretty much directly underneath your transducer or your 2D unit in the front. And by keeping these ranges where they are, upper and lower, you will see, if your sensitivity is set correct, your jig bounce off the bottom, up and down, up and down. You can actually see the fish approach your jig, and that's a whole nother level of fishing. Once you get your unit set up, that you'll probably end up focusing more on the unit and fishing with 2D as opposed to concentrating on the water. So now we'll get into our main menu and select sonar. So first off, we have a 2D display, and we're going to put it at 200 kilohertz for 2D. This is, I believe, for every 1 foot in depth, it is 1 foot wide. So typically on Detroit River at 30 feet, we have a 30-foot viewing cone. Don't use imaging that much while vertical jigging the river. But anyway, the setting is 800 kilohertz. Surface clutter, you want to put down to 1. There's max mode, clear mode. So what we're doing, max mode, is all the unfiltered data, and that's what we want. And by our simple quick menu, we will change, we'll tell the unit what we actually want. So you don't want to ask the unit to go into clear mode to filter out the data for you. You want unfiltered data, and you'll make your adjustments accordingly with the quick menu. Same thing as imaging, but this is for 2D sonar. Fish ID, we'll keep that off, and fish sensitivity all the way down to 1. Our RTS window is off. We want to show structured ID for the bottom. The zoom is wide, and the 455 kilohertz sensitivity is at 0. Depth lines, off or on, doesn't really matter. It's your preference. Frequency labels on. Noise filter you want to keep off. and our freshwater type is our water type is freshwater. Some people, I've heard that by changing it to salt water, the unit, you're telling the unit to take out all the little plankton in the water, and it actually makes for a clearer picture. But in testing that last year, it doesn't work any better. So freshwater is good enough. The element pings too deep. Color bar on. Ice fishing mode obviously off. So most important out of the 2D setup would be your placing it in max mode. Again, that is unfiltered data. A quick menu, adjust your sensitivity accordingly to clean up the picture. And that is based daily depending on the water clarity and such. So we'll go back to, let's see, setup now. Setup, you want to go into advanced. Being in advanced opens up a lot more options in setting up your 2D or 3D imaging. So as you can see coming across the screen right now, let's say this is 30 feet of water. You see a nice solid hard bottom just on the bottom of the screen, and you can see your fish, right? And this is what you'll see along with your line and your jig bouncing off the bottom. And with the chart speed all the way at 9, you can actually see a straight line, which is the fish approaching the jig. And like I said, once you get comfortable with setting up this unit and start calling the strikes, there's nothing more exhilarating than fishing off the 2D.